Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling. And man, I appreciate you guys coming by the channel and spending some time with me. Always happy to have you guys around here. And guys, today we're going to be talking about what I consider the best YouTube bass fishing channel of 2025. If you guys follow the channel, I like to do videos like this about the best bass fishing channels every 3 or 4 months because it changes. I mean, everybody's got content that, sometimes is better than not, and some YouTube channels are sort of on their way out and some are coming up. So I've been thinking about this, and I got one that I really think you guys will enjoy if you haven't been watching it. So we're going to get into that in today's episode. Also, guys, before we get started, a quick reminder about the independent sale on my Solar Bat Series RB2 and RB3 glasses, guys. You can get them right now, 30% off from Solar Bat, and also any purchase with a pair of my glasses, you get a free hard case from Solar Bat. Also, I'll put the Solar Bat link in the description of this video. If you use the promo code Randy B with a capital R, capital B, you get free shipping and handling. And you can also get them through my Tackle Warehouse link. I'll put all that link in the description. But try a pair of those high contrast yellow lenses, man. That's the one. That's my favorite lens that they make there. Okay, appreciate that. Okay, guys, one of the things about this is I'm sort of I like to critique the YouTube channels. I mean, I got a YouTube channel, I don't watch as many YouTube channels as a lot of people do, but I know about a lot of channels because I have a lot of my subscribers forward me clips from these channels. I mean, a bunch of them. So I got a pretty good pulse on what's going on out there. And of course, when you're talking about who has the best YouTube channel, everybody's got their own preference as far as what, the people they like, the content they like, how the show's laid out. So I know not one type of show fits everything, but before I get into the video, who I think is the best one out there you need to subscribe to, one of the things that I talk about a lot in the bass fishing YouTube genre, and I want to reiterate here, is just be careful for plagiarized content. And what I mean by that is there is a lot of YouTube bass fishermen out there, a lot of them, that basically they don't come up with their own content. They basically surf YouTube channels like mine and some other former pro anglers and that type of stuff, and they get YouTube video ideas from the most popular videos, and then they tweak them, they change them a little bit, they change the title, they change the thumbnail, they change the content a little bit, but to the trained eye, they're basically just copying content because they don't have that much on the water experience themselves. True bass fishing YouTube channels, the best ones out there, come from the most experienced anglers. And I don't mean that you have to have 30 years experience to bring value to a channel and to help share information, but it helps a lot. And everybody's got something to offer, but I just want to sort of be aware of that. It's just be aware of those channels out there that do that. Another thing about that, one of the criteria that I always set for my YouTube channels is there's this whole thing about entertainment versus education. And as a society in general, we want to be entertained. That's why, shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians or whatever are so popular. It's entertaining to some people, but there's zero educational value. That's why some cable news shows, guys, out there they're entertaining, but they're not very educational. Everything out there is like that. And we tend to like carrots dangled in front of us all the time to get people to watch. So hardcore hogging information, a lot of that type of stuff sort of gets caught by the wayside. That's why some of the channels out there that have fish catching, people like to watch that because they like to be entertained by watching somebody catch fish. And it's boring to sit in more of a classroom situation and learn about fishing. I get it. I understand that. But a lot of it depends, on what you want. Do you want to be entertained? Do you want to be educated? Or maybe a little bit of both. So regardless, everybody's sort of got their different perception on that. Okay, best YouTube channel of 2025. This is a very, very, very tough call to make because there's two out there. There's actually, and I'm going to talk about both of these, but there's two out there that are just neck and neck for what I think is the best one out there. And don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of other good ones out there, but these are just personally the two that if you guys want some good bass fishing YouTube content to absorb, here's the two you want to watch. Number one is Old School Bass Fishing with Dale Verts. Now, I've been talking about Dale Verts for a while. You can't underestimate somebody like this, like Dale Verts, that has been fishing forever and is just down to earth and down home. Got a lot of good information. He just funny. It's just like it's such a refreshing pace to watch. It's it's low tech like mine. It's like you don't see drones, you don't see music, you don't see like different camera angles, you don't see this high produced YouTube video. It's just down home, like you're talking to your buddy in the tackle room or something like that. I love that because that's real. So I'll put Old School Bass Fishing with Dale Verts link in the description of the video. Give him a follow. I think you guys are going to like it. And right along with that same deal is aspiring tournament angler Chris Johnson. Now, they're very similar. Chris Johnson, down home. I think he lives down at Beaver Lake, but he's been fishing tournaments forever. He's got a lot of history in the sport. He tells a lot of stories. He gives fishing tips and advice. He gives, both Dale and Chris, they give real bass fishing information. They don't give this whole live scope bullshit, fake video game fishing stuff. It's real bass fishing that you can apply and that you can just, it's so refreshing to see people keeping this type of content alive on YouTube because it's rapidly going away. So those are the two out there, guys, is Dale Verts, aspiring tournament angler Chris Johnson. Those are the two that I would recommend you guys subscribing to more than anything else. But this whole YouTube thing's changing, man. It's like I think about this a lot because YouTube is my primary job now. It's morphed into that from a tournament angler, and I've got some other stuff I do too. But YouTube is what I put a lot of my energy in, and it's really changing a lot right now. And in terms of the videos and content that you see, and I'm not really sure what the future is for it, because here's one of the things that's happened. It's like most guys that consume bass fishing YouTube content, the amount of enthusiasm and the amount of energy that they put into videos with fishing information, like tips and tactics and that type of stuff, it's going away. It's like when I first started my YouTube channel 4 years ago, I hadn't been doing this very long. When I would do videos like on flipping a jig or throwing a jerkbait or throwing a chatterbait or how to rig a floating worm or how to rig a fluke or something like that, it got a lot of traction and it got a lot of views. And if you look back at some other YouTubers, the same with them. But there's been such a massive oversaturation with the basic fishing tips and information out there that it's not hardly even worth to make a video on it anymore. It's like 4 years ago, I could show you guys and give you guys some good, tips on how to modify a fluke or how to modify your jerkbait, and it might get, 75, 100,000 views. I can literally do the same video right now, and it's going to be crickets, because I think a lot of people are just, there's too much out there. There's been too much bass fishing YouTube content come out there. Therefore, YouTube, the bass fishing YouTube, is morphing more into an opinionated type of a format where bass anglers give their opinions on current events or things that are happening in the sport, or just more of a personalized delivery and presentation. That's sort of what captures people's attention a little bit. And of course, when you do that, you get, there's a lot of critique that comes with it. You get a lot of people that support it, but then, you always have your smart asses that come out of the woodwork to, critique anything you say. But it's a constantly evolving process of change within the bass fishing YouTube genre. And there's always going to be a place, for fishing tips and advice, because there's always new anglers coming up in it. But it's not like it was before. It's like, if you think that you're going to become a bass fishing YouTuber by teaching people how to throw a Texas rig worm, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to struggle with that, because it's been such an oversaturation in the market. Same way that there's been oversaturation in every aspect of the fishing industry. The oversaturation in the number of tournaments, oversaturation in the number of fishing lures out there, oversaturation in the number you know, rod and reels and everything. It's just like, it's so freaking competitive now that about the only way that you can stand out is by, you know, relating to people through your personality. And that's why I really, really like old school bass fishing with Dale Verts and aspiring tournament angler Chris Johnson. It's a fresh perspective. It gives you guys, you know, you know, some personal experience in it. These dudes have been fishing forever. Dale and Chris, they've been fishing for almost as long as I have, and they have a plethora of experience to share with people. And when you have some of the YouTubers that emerge on the scene like right now, you know, they don't have that to draw on. They don't have the decades and decades and decades of life experience to, you know, share in videos out there. And for a lot of people like me, that's what I like to watch. You know, I enjoy getting fishing tips like everybody else. I don't know everything. I mean, I'll be the first to admit I'm a student of the sport, and I always will be. But from my perspective, I want to hear about, you know, some Redman tournament that Dale Verts fished 35 years ago versus, like, you know, something that's going on now. But anyway, guys, I'll link both those channels in the description of the video. You know, I think you guys enjoy checking them out, and really appreciate your support, and we'll talk later.